The Range Rover Sport has always been a smash hit with buyers because it delivers all the traditional Range Rover's ruggedness with a slightly sleeker, sportier edge. It competes with very strong contenders like the Porsche Cayenne and the BMW X6, so this latest version really needs to be better than ever. It's fair to say that the Range Rover Sport certainly isn't short of visual impact. It has the same sort of face as the normal Rangy, with bold, aggressive, chunky details and lashings of LED lighting. But with the Sport, all the lines are pushed back a bit to create a racier silhouette. You'll notice that the windscreen is more steeply raked and that the roofline dips away towards the back end of the car. It's all very snarly and aggressive looking, but at the same time, it's a really handsome car. Granted, the one we've got here is a pretty pimped up version. Not only is it the high-end Autobiography dynamic trim, which comes with these enormous 21-inch alloy wheels as standard, but it's also fitted with the intriguingly named Stealth Pack. But rather than making the car invisible, it makes it stand out even more with all sorts of extra styling components. However, if you're worried that your Range Rover Sport won't stand out enough without the pack, then don't be. Even in entry-level HSE trim, this car is no wallflower. There's a fair amount of bling on show inside the Range Rover Sport as well. Everywhere you look, there's stitched leather, metallic chromy bits, interestingly textured surfaces, so there's plenty for your eyes and your fingertips to feast on. It looks really stylish, it feels effortlessly posh, and with this standard touchscreen system to handle all your functions, from your sat nav to your phone calls to watching TV even, it feels really high tech as well. That said, the menus could be a bit more logical and the whole system is a little bit slow to react. Sure, the Sport isn't as roomy as the regular Range Rover due to its slinkier shape, but there's still enough space in the back for 3 adults to sit in comfort. There's also a massive boot that will handle anything a family can throw at it, including a couple more passengers. Now that's not as dodgy as it sounds. If you spend a little bit more, you can specify another 2 seats that fold up electrically from the boot floor. Obviously, this makes your cargo space much smaller, and the rearmost seats are tricky to get in and out of and only have enough space for young'uns. But it's nice to have the option if you only need 7 seats occasionally. Does the Rangy Sport live up to the second bit of its name? Well, in terms of performance, certainly. There's a range of petrol and diesel options available, and a hybrid as well, and the one we've got here is one of the more powerful engines on offer. It's a 4.4 litre V8 diesel with 335 brake horsepower, and it is an absolute monster. It simply pulls out of its boots from anywhere on the rev range, even up the top, and that is really rare for a diesel. Put your foot down and this car is seriously fast, and for a diesel it even sounds pretty good. But is the handling as sporty? Well, kinda. This is a very rewarding car to drive, with huge grip, impressive body control and sharp, responsive steering. But while it changes direction incredibly well for such an enormous car, it's still not quite as precise or as agile as a Porsche Cayenne. Where it's got the Porsche licked though is on ride comfort. It simply glides and wafts over all sorts of bumps at all sorts of speeds, and that means it is brilliant at playing the luxury barge role. Nowhere is this more evident than on the motorway. It feels wonderfully smooth and stable, and refinement is top drawer. This is a very pleasant way to slush away the miles. And being a Range Rover, it'll slush through the slushy stuff as well. Thanks to the four-wheel drive and the ingenious terrain response off-roading system, this thing will take rocks, sand, mud, snow, all in its stride. Obviously, this is not a cheap car, either to buy or to run. For instance, this engine has an official fuel economy of 32.5 miles per gallon, and you'll do very well to get anywhere near that in the real world. However, if you go for the more humble diesel engine, a 3-litre V6 with a mere 302 brake horsepower, you'll get upwards of 40 mpg, and it's still plenty fast enough. The Range Rover Sport blends all the abilities you could want in a sporty 4x4. It's fantastic fun to drive, it's comfortable and refined, it's gorgeous inside, and it's practical enough for most families. And unlike many rivals, you'll actually be able to drive it off-road as well. If you're after a premium SUV, this should be very near the top of your shortlist.